No, it's just starting.
Oh, so Chris is in. My flat is underwater. I'm not happy, no. So welcome along to Brands Hatch Speedfest Sunday, the second day of the American Speedfest, the second day of racing at Brands Hatch for the EuroNASCAR. Starting off with EuroNASCAR Pro, my name's Adam Weller. I'm joined by the pit lane maestro himself, Andre, and we are about to see the drivers onto the grid any minute, but such an electric atmosphere.
Yes, it is. It is. The weather is nice, but I see some clouds. I hope the British weather will not affect that event. Yesterday was sunny. Today a little bit more cloudy, but yeah, perfect event. You see all the guys in the grid. You see all the guys on the grandstands. It's an amazing fest. It's so nice to have the fans back after 2 years of COVID-19. But this event is so special, and I think in a few minutes we will see the pro drivers in a special announcement part of the track. I've never seen that before as well here. So this is going to be an amazing thing. And then we have the pro race coming up, the elite drivers of EuroNASCAR, and I'm just looking forward to that one.
Yeah, 75 kilometres, 38 laps of racing coming, as you saw yesterday, and it was a spectacular 38 laps as well, with Alan Day taking the win, making some brilliant overtakes through the order. You can see we're being engulfed with the spectators here at Brands Hatch. The lifeblood of any good race meeting is spectator support, and that's exactly what we've got. We've also got some fabulous race drivers who will be out with us in just a few minutes, but yesterday proved yet again that the recipe of EuroNASCAR and Brands Hatch never fails to deliver, let's say, a tasty cake.
Yes, it is. It's a short track. We have so many cars on the grid, and we saw you can never give up. We saw in both races, EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2, for your information, we have EuroNASCAR Pro drivers and EuroNASCAR 2 drivers sharing the same car in two different separated championships. And in both races, late overtakes decided the races. So the cautions were important, the track position was important, and the most important thing was do not give up, be there at the right spot at the right time.
Well, allegedly we are just a few seconds removed from the driver intros, so we should see the drivers there soon. I did see that some of our drivers were a little bit late, Federico Monti, getting there last minute, but we are being engulfed by the spectators. The smoke machine's getting ready. We are just a few moments away from introing our drivers as they run down.
I think we need to go a little bit more there because so many people joining us here in the grid. So just follow us, cameraman. Thank you. I think we have a nice front row spot here, right?
We do. We do have a nice front row spot. And here come the drivers in just a moment. Here's our circuit commentary colleague Chris Dawes, making the most of his moment in the sunshine, I think, by the looks of it. Although those shorts, looking at the clouds, might be a bold choice. We are about to see the first drivers out onto the grid. Of course, if you're here supporting the 88 car, Alberto Nasca, Max Lanza. Unfortunately, Max isn't starting because he has some health issues here this weekend. Saw him yesterday. He's in good spirits, but sadly he can't take the wheel of the car. I think we are about to see the drivers out. We've got Alberto Nasca here with us at the moment. Hi, Alberto. He'll be in the 88 car later. No Max Lanza, but good to have Alberto. We'll just ask quickly, Alberto, we're knee-deep in supporters here. Such an awesome atmosphere on the grid, right?
I never seen anything like that before. It's incredible to see the passion that everybody here has for motorsports. And you know, in Italy I'm used to see maybe men, boys, young people passionate about motorsports. Here every kind of age, young, elders, male, woman, mothers, children, everybody, no matter the age, no matter they love motorsports. That's something that I really couldn't expect. And they really love cars, they love the atmosphere. Wow.
And the team didn't offer you a chance to take the 88 car for EuroNASCAR Pro as well?
Yeah, but I can't because, you know, I am not racing for 88. I'm really sorry for Max because he didn't do a good qualifying because he had track limits, but he was very fast, so he could have made a good race. But bad things happen, and when they happen, you can't do anything about that.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll let you go, Alberto. Continue to soak in this atmosphere. Of course, you can keep up with his weekend specifically on his own YouTube channel after this one. There's lots of behind-the-scenes content on the EuroNASCAR YouTube channel as well, and our social media platforms. Wherever you're watching, there's likely some great content on offer from here at Brands Hatch. The drivers are making their way towards us. I don't think it'll be long before we get to intro these guys.
Yes, and we saw a EuroNASCAR 2 driver on the grid, so they're not going to be presented now. It's the EuroNASCAR Pro drivers. Again, separated championships, same cars. You said it. Alberto Nascar sharing the car with Massimiliano Lanza. And there's another crucial point in their championship. If the EuroNASCAR 2 driver or the Pro driver having a crash, that can affect also the other driver. So you have to be very respectful to your teammate as well and keep the car in one piece.
Yeah, I've heard rumour that the EuroNASCAR 2 round 4, which we'll see later on this afternoon, could be a bit exciting because, of course, they don't have to repair the car for the next race once we get to that point. The drivers should be with us just shortly, though. As we said, the EuroNASCAR Pro drivers out there. Alan Day, of course, taking the championship lead yesterday with his result in the round number 3, our first race at Brands Hatch. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. But I think, what's going on there?
I think we can grab a little word with the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series President and CEO, Jerome Galpin.
I'll leave you to it.
The fans are back at Brands Hatch, the Speedfest, again crowded with this amazing grid walk. What do you say?
It's just amazing, you know, it's gathering the fans and sharing passion is fully the earth of NASCAR. So of course, you know, after 2 difficult years without fans, now we come back to, it's not just cars on tracks, it's sharing passion and it's gathering with fans. So it's just an unbelievable feeling. It's all good and we have good races.
All right, thank you so much. Enjoyed this grid walk. And I think we're now ready for the drivers. So we go now there. And I hand it back to you.
Okay, so here we go. We're expecting, I believe... Okay, so I think we're going to see Max Lanza out there. Yes, he's all suited and booted. This is Max Lanza, Massimiliano Lanza in the 88 car. Unfortunately, we don't think he's taking the start today, but great to see him evolved. Here is Federico Monti. Yeah, Forza Italia, Federico. Thomas Cristonis with him as well. Here is the 14th row of the grid. Ian Eric Varden and Konstantin Kletzer. Next up, we have the 40 and the 90. In fact, I think it is only Nicola Rocca there coming out to say hello because unfortunately the 40 car isn't taking the start. Christoph Lenz here with Joni Raut-Jarvi. So that is our 13th row of the grid. Row 12 coming out now. Row 12 is Yevgen Sokolovsky and Bernardo Manfrey. The Gulf colours for Yevgen as always. Nice to see him sporting the signature look of Marco Strip Motorsport once again. Alia Kolak here on the 11th row of the grid. And Alia is joined by Riccardo Romagnoli there on row 11. Row 10, Cosimo Barberini and Vittorio Gorelli, a former AutoGP champion, a driver who looks so focused. He's had a poor season so far in EuroNASCAR Pro. He'll be looking to make amends today. Dario Casso joining us on row 9 with Davide Dallara. Keep an eye on these two. Here we have Armetta out there, Fabrizio Armetta and Leonardo Colavita. Row 7 of the grid, Sebastian Blakemolen and Roman Iannetta, 2 hugely experienced drivers. Here comes Liam Hazemans and the best beard on the grid, Claudio Capelli. Say hi to the camera, guys. Great to see them. Mark Goosens I don't think is here, so here's Henri Tuamala on his own. That is row number 5, the 23 car, so we're towards the sharp end because here's the 4th row. Giorgio Maggi along with Patrick Lemery. Great to see these two. 3rd row of the grid, Martin Dubeck and Nicola Rocca. Martin Dubeck, our reigning EuroNASCAR 2 champion. He had a good run yesterday. Let's see what he does today. Frederic Gabillard joined by Gianmarco Ercoli. The 3 and the 54 cars being driven by those two. And then we have the front row of the grid. It's Alexander Graf, who starts from the outside of the front row. Alexander Graf in the 64 car. And here comes the man who took the win yesterday, our championship leader, the 24 of Alan Day. Alan Day, our three-time champion. His most recent title came in 2020, and he has the points lead coming into race 2 here at Brands Hatch. He showed his dominance here yesterday. He actually equalled the record for most victories at Brands Hatch in EuroNASCAR just yesterday. Today, he's going to try and put another chapter in his history book by getting what I think would be a 6th win here at the Brands Hatch Indy circuit in EuroNASCAR.
Yes, he's tied with the all-time record of Ander Villarino. He's the 3-time champion in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, like Ander Villarino. So he's going to try anything to break all the all-time records in EuroNASCAR. And I think Alan Day has what it takes to be the best driver. He's already the winningest driver, but he can be the one and only EuroNASCAR champion if he gets the 4th title and here the 6th win at Brands Hatch.
So of course it was his 5th win here yesterday. Could be his 6th win today, could also be his 30th win overall, which would mean that 20% of his victories in EuroNASCAR have come right here at the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. He clearly loves this venue, and we've heard a lot of good things about it from all of our drivers. It's just over 1.2 miles, it's just under 2 kilometers of racing, but we've got some serious braking zones, we've got some challenging corners where you can win and lose half a second, you can win and lose 2 or 3 positions in one fell swoop. It rewards the drivers who have experience, it rewards the drivers who are brave.
Yes, it sounds easy, 6 turns, but when you talk to the drivers, they're talking about a roller coaster. I did a track walk on Thursday, the other way around, to grab the drivers coming to us and do some interviews there. But yeah, you're going up paddock hill bend, then down, up again. It's like a wall when you're going to Druids. It's amazing. This track, it's so pure, and to be honest, this is what Great Britain is also all about. You have so great racetracks here and so many iconic racetracks. I'm really, really looking forward to this race, and I think we have a special guest right now. Alan.
You talk to Alan.
How are you?
Sorry?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just nice, lovely weather. Yeah, I'm ready for the race today.
Yesterday, a little bit of Toto Africa?
Yeah, even this morning, actually. But yeah, if I win, you choose the music then.
Okay. You can be the all-time leader winning when you do the double win here today, and you can be again the king of Brands Hatch, getting the crown. But what does it take to be fast at that track, and what does it take to be a winner at Brands Hatch?
I think it's yeah, staying out of trouble and not doing any mistakes, because the smallest mistakes here, people will bite you like I did yesterday. So yeah, it's basically just to stay out of trouble, survive turn 1 and turn 2, because I think that's the most difficult part of the track, especially in turn 1, on lap 1. And yeah, as I said, keep out of trouble, not doing any stupid mistakes.
You're driving in the championship against 2 car racing drivers. You won 2 titles with car racing in the past. How is it to have Gianmarco Ercoli and Nicola Rocca as the main contenders in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series Championship against you again in PK Car Sport car?
I'm not surprised. When I was in Cal, PK were my biggest rival, and when I'm with PK, Cal is my biggest rival. So I'm not surprised at all about that, but yeah, that's what it is. I know that they're an extremely good team, but I think now it's a bit different. I have Alexander Graf next to me, which is a bit different. We will see. We will see after the race.
All right, thank you so much. Maybe we meet each other in victory lane again.
Yeah, and you have to choose if we do, you choose the music. Yeah.
I promise it's not Rammstein. Okay.
So yeah, you have.
great to see Martin down here. You go forward. Right down at the back of the screen at the moment. We're talking about how you got it. That's just walking past it. Okay. Sneaking on this.
Tell me when then. So just here with Alexander Graf, and obviously Alexander didn't have the best of races yesterday. Unfortunately, a puncture put you 2 laps off the lead, though you've still had some good pace as we saw yesterday. You're on the first row of the grid. Optimistic to take the fight to Alan Day on pole?
Yeah, well, I did a good race yesterday with putting the car on P2 for this race, so that's a good recovery. We'll see what I can do today to change Alan against the victory lane, so we'll see what I can do.
Of course, Brands Hatch, a very different circuit from Valencia. Do you like these kind of traditional undulating circuits where the world has kind of formed the track?
Yeah, I love this track. This was my best experience back in 2018 when I started racing EuroNASCAR, and so far this is one of my absolutely favorite on the schedule.
Well, we love to see all of you drivers enjoying this circuit so much. Go and give us a good race out there. What's your strategy? Turn 1 round the outside?
Yeah, maybe the outside in the first and second corner, then I have the inside in the third, so we'll see what I can do, but... Yes?
Okay, Andre has a question.
We asked Alan Day about his favorite music when he's winning. He said Toto Africa. How's it about you?
Oh,
Which song would you pick in Victory Lane?
damn, I don't know. Let me come back to that.
Come on, not the single one. The genre.
Let's go with Avicii.
Okay, go. The next one I think we have already here in place is Nicola Rocca. Yeah, come here. I'm fine, and you? Come stai?
Yeah, all good.
Okay. Yesterday, good race. Alan Day beat you, but what does it take for you today to beat Alan?
Yeah, I guess being faster than him, and I think I can be. So yeah, it's going to be full attack, starting from P6. Not really the position I would have wanted to start, but I'll be aggressive from the beginning. Hopefully, manage to get some positions at the start, and then from there, hopefully, fighting for podium positions and potentially the win. That's the plan. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
The bigger picture in mind, the championship battle in EuroNASCAR. I know, wins are wins. They are very important, but consistency is key, right?
Exactly. It's important to finish at least in the top 5 most of the races, if not all of them. Podium will be best. Obviously, wins have a big advantage in terms of points compared to any other position. So yeah, yesterday I lost it, but yeah, I'll make sure to jump back and be as strong as possible starting from today.
In the morning we had already the pit walk with a lot of fans early in the morning grabbing autographs, and now we have the grid walk here. How is it to have the fans back?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just a completely different atmosphere and feeling for us drivers to have so many people around. It pumps us up a lot. So very, very much looking forward to put on a show. And when there are so many passionate people around you, it just it makes it worth all the sacrifices that we are going through, all the preparation that we're going through. Days like today, days like yesterday, they all make it worth it. So yeah, stoked to be here. Very, very grateful to be here. Never forget that I'm very, very lucky to be in a position where I am as a driver in a very competitive series. So yeah, just appreciating it and enjoying every moment.
All right, thank you so much. And now go back to the tunnel and focus for the race. I think we have the next one here.
So we've got Gianmarco Ercoli. Let's take a look, though. Oh, are we having Advait, are we? Oh, okay. Excellent. So out of yesterday's performance, obviously we saw well up the. Is that someone you know? Oh, that was your mum. There you go, mum on telly. Obviously we spoke to you yesterday, Advait. We know that you've got so many supporters here, being this is basically your home race, really, since you live in London. And oh, actually we're going to have mum in the interview. There you go. Oh no, she's hiding behind you. But obviously such a great atmosphere. You look down there, down the grid, so many people here. Speedfest Sunday is always great fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, look at this. This is just incredible. It's good to be back here with, 30,000-40,000 people over the weekend, and some amazing racing yesterday, and I'm sure there's going to be another awesome 2 races this afternoon and this evening.
And of course, I mean, obviously you're not in this EuroNASCAR Pro race, hence you're not suited and booted just yet. But I mean, talk us through what the drivers are going to have to go through over these 75 kilometres. You do have to look after the rear tyres particularly, I think, don't you, with these NASCARs? They do use the rears eventually.
Yeah, I mean, there's over 400 horsepower, there's no traction control, and no ABS as well, so it's very important. Throttle modulation coming out of corners, and we use the same tyres for qualifying race 1 and race 2, so your right foot you got to treat it very well, because that's going to maintain your tyres all weekend.
It's the balancing act, isn't it? Because Sunday you want to let your hair down, you're like, right, it's time to really get the elbows out, but also it's the time where the tyres are really starting to show their age.
Exactly, and then you'll see as the race progresses, the cars start to slide more, the lap times start to drop as well, but at the end of the day, no driver really holds back, so it's going to be foot to the floor from start to finish.
At least the sideways looks cool on telly, right? It's going to be a great 38 laps of racing. Great to speak to you again, Advait. And I believe we can get Gianmarco Ercoli next. Gianmarco, obviously had a good run yesterday, 3rd place. We saw yesterday that Alan Day managed to get that win. He managed to get past you. Today, from the 2nd row of the grid, are you looking to try and get to that top step?
Yeah, yesterday good race, but in the last part of the race we haven't very good speed, and Alan take the victory. Today is another day, another race. I start in 3rd position, and it's possible arrive on podium and battle for the win. So I am ready. My team work all night for change the setup, and now we have race 2 and try to be better than yesterday.
We just heard from Advait Yodar about how difficult it is to make these tyres last the races. Obviously the Hoosier rubber is durable, but coming out of Saturday, do you think you've given yourself enough grip to really push on Sunday?
Yeah, yesterday after qualifying, I think I and Nicola, because start in pole position and 2nd position, I think okay, we are okay, and now we do another race. But in the middle race go out, and today I think is better doing better.
Yeah.
So now only the race have the result.
Okay, well, we're going to be pushing you on in the 54 Cal Racing car. Thank you very much, Gianmarco. I believe we had Frédéric Gabillon. I'm going to hand over to André for this one, the number 3 driver.
Frédéric,
hey.
Ça va?
Bien, et toi?
Ah, ça va. Are you ready to go?
I'm okay. I hope to have a good race, not like yesterday, because the contact with Martin at the start almost killed my tire, so it was hard to find the pace during the race, and the traction was really a big problem. But the car is quite good, so I'm happy we are back in the game, so we will see for the race. It's going to be a long race, so we'll see.
You are one of the most experienced drivers on the grid. You're a true NASCAR Williams Series veteran. When you have a new driver coming, what would be the advice you give him to be fast at Brands Hatch?
To be fast in Brands Hatch, you have to really take care of the first corner. You have to don't brake really late and keep the speed. After, it's not really an hard track, but you have to find a rhythm and try to keep the rhythm, because the tires are really long to warm. So. No, it's not a really hard track, but just come, because the circuit is too fun and the crew here is really amazing. So just come, try, and you will be in love with this track and this event.
Last year you said that 2021 would be your last season. Now you're back in 2022. Wait. Last year, half of the crowd. This year, full crowd again. Are you happy to be back?
Yeah, I'm happy. Last year we made only three meetings because the car was awful, so I keep a little bit of my last year budget to build a new car with my old chassis, so I'm going to make this season, and we will see for next year.
All right, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
Merci
and see you later. All right, this was Frédéric Gabillon, one of the most experienced driver here on the grid, and I think we have the next one already. Thank you, by the way, Gianluca, picking up the drivers here.
Yeah, Gianluca doing a good job of, shall we say, crowd control as we have Alia Kolek with us. 29, if you could just stand away from the thing so we can see the fans there in the back of shot. There are so many fans here, Alia, and you really do get a good idea of almost maybe what it would be like to be out in the US in NASCAR Cup Series when there are so many people around supporting you, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's my first time being in such a crowd, so it's a really incredible experience. I already signed a lot of cards, which I never done before, and the people here are really nice, and I'm really happy to be here.
And if I remember rightly, on the rear spoiler of your car, you've got the respect on your cap. You also have equality, diversity on the rear spoiler of that car. Very much mission statements that you have there on the back of the car. And it's great to see, isn't it? More faces in EuroNASCAR, be it the female racers that we got. Obviously, Alan Day is one of our most successful drivers of all time. And I mean, tell us about that. It's always a mission to make sure that there is more respect, equality and diversity in motorsport, right?
Yeah, of course. Since last year we've been having this campaign. This series we have 5 ladies, and I think it's the most in the series, so it's really great to see. And hopefully the message can grow, and we're going to see more females, not just drivers, but as engineers or whatever in motorsport. So slowly by slowly we're seeing more, and it's really great to see.
Absolutely. And obviously, I mean, you know, the way this is with the shared cars, it's often worrying that you've got to worry about your teammate. Of course, you don't have to let a teammate down because the teammate is yourself. Do you focus more on EuroNASCAR Pro or EuroNASCAR 2, or are they both of equal focus for you?
Of course, every race I try to get a good result, but I think my main priority is EuroNASCAR 2 because it's my first season, so to get the most amount of experience, that's why I'm doing both categories. But my main focus is trying to get the results in the EuroNASCAR 2 category.
You've raced just about everything I could ever imagine on 4 wheels in the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. What is Alia Kolek going to be doing in 5 years' time?
That's a good question. All I can tell you is I will be driving. I don't know what or where, but you will see me in a race car.
That much is for certain. We hope you're here with us for a long time competing. Alia's improving weekend on weekend. We'll see how she's doing come Vallelunga. But thank you so much for talking to us, Alia. And let's go back to Andre then. Andre, we're getting very close to the national anthem and to the driver command as well, the all-important start your engines. And you can feel it getting closer, can't you? You can almost feel it minute on minute getting more and more exciting.
Absolutely, and just look behind us with all the fans and the grid. And for all of you are joining us right now on several TV services, we are at the 9th edition of the American Speedfest at Brands Hatch for the EuroNASCAR Pro Round 4 here at Great Britain. Perfect atmosphere, perfect weather, even here in the UK. So we are ready for another great race in the EuroNASCAR Pro category, and we have another driver joining us right now. And yeah, Mark Goosen's here. We were doing the track work on Thursday. You were running into us, and your team manager, Nicola Rocca, told us we have to ask the old guy about having advices for that track. So what are the secrets of Brands Hatch?
I think, first of all, he didn't mean old, but experienced. I hope he did. If not,
I quoted him.
If not, I have a word with him. No, what's the secret here? I think yesterday was very clear also in the EuroNASCAR 2 race that it is very important to keep your nose clean, to stay out of trouble. And it's not easy here with so many cars on a short track. But you know, this place is just lovely with all the fans coming out, and it's a natural, beautiful track. It always has been, and it's just great fun to drive here. But in the EuroNASCAR, the cars are so big and heavy, it's pretty tricky. So staying out of trouble brings you a long way.
I know you've been having a great career also in prototype racing, sports car racing. You were in the US driving there. What makes it so much fun to drive those EuroNASCAR cars?
It's just fun. It's a great championship. I was lucky through Brax Racing with Jerry De Weert a couple of years ago to get in contact with the series and drive here. It's just so much fun. It's just, like today, I won't be participating in the race because we have some chassis damage and they cannot fix it. And I just feel really sorry for the whole team, first of all, but also for myself, because I love this place so much. Even though the results were not great yesterday, there's still a lot of improvement, but possible. But yeah, it's just this track is awesome. This series is awesome. I think Jerome and Anne and the whole FJ series is, or the whole FJ group is doing such a great work in representing NASCAR in Europe. And it's funny because at the demonstration race here, there's an old Kevin Harvick car here. And I actually raced against that car in the US in 2007. It is that actual car. So for the fans here to come out and see those cars, it's just a great show, and I'm just proud to be part of it.
All right, thank you so much, and enjoy as good as possible this afternoon. Not in the car, but this time you can enjoy the race just outside and the atmosphere.
Yeah, there's so much talent battling up front to win this race, so I'm pretty sure I'm having a great time.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for joining. And I think we have the next one here. Always with the sunglasses, of course. Anthony Kumpen, team manager of the PK Car Sport car, and also two-time EuroNASCAR champion. Will we see you back someday in a car?
Of course you will, of course, but I don't know yet when. We have a very busy schedule with the team. Then my little boy, he's 9 years old, he's racing go-karts in Italy. So after the COVID, we had to restructure some things. But maybe next year, maybe the year after, but I will be back.
And then you're going to compete at front again from the scratch, or do you think the level raised too much?
No, I think there's still the same guys who are winning. I was competing against Alan Day when I won the championship. You have Rocca who's still there. All the guys in the front are pretty much the same. There's some young guys coming in, so there's more people that can win. But the level is pretty much the same. But it's really good. It's a really good level, and I'm sure when I come back, I want to drive for the wins.
In your role as a team manager, how happy are you with the performances we had for the PK Car Sport drivers, Christian Malcharek and Alan Day, of course?
Yeah, Alan did fantastic. He started third, and then passing is not so easy to have clean moves, and he finished first. Christian is still getting to know the car, but he's moving in the right direction. We're leading the championship in the pro class, so we cannot complain.
All right, thank you so much. Dankjewel. And tot ziens. And he's already busy. Interview, autographs, photos, of course. So I'm handing over to you.
Okay, well, we've got Giorgio Maggi with us in the 18 car, of course. Giorgio starting on the 4th row of the grid, 7th on the grid. Inside line here is the place to be on the start, isn't it? It seems like you can make up good positions through the first couple of corners.
It really depends on what the front runners are doing. Yeah, wherever is space. Of course, for turn 1, it's a bit sketchy on the outside, so I prefer the inside, but turn 2, there's some good opportunities also on the outside, and we'll see.
And of course you've got Claudio Capelli in the car with you this weekend, which is unusual, especially because he's racing against you in a different car, in EuroNASCAR Pro. Has there been any talk between the two of you about setup or anything like that? Has there been any kind of working together?
Yeah, of course, yeah, because he also has a pretty good pace, and it was nice to have someone on the car. Because, yeah, we could have just grabbed more data and have a better understanding of the car, and I think it helped. Today in the warm-up it felt really good, a lot better than yesterday actually, and we'll see. I'm pretty confident for this race that we have pretty good pace.
And of course, with Tobias Dauenhauer unfortunately not being here this weekend, that's given you an opportunity in the junior trophy ranks as well. You want to get as many points as possible out of this weekend, especially given Tobias isn't here, right?
Yeah, on one side the junior trophy, and the other side I'm really focused on the whole championship, so it's not really the way you want to grab an extra position or you want to fight for it, but we take it.
Okay, well there you go. That's Giorgio Maggi, who will be starting the 18 car, one of the very few Toyota Camrys out on the grid. Of course, all of these cars are mechanically identical, really, but they are running different body shells. It does mean there's a little more variety out there on circuit. Back over to you, Andre. I think at some point we should grab one of these spectators.
Yeah, first of all, we have David Willey, the event manager, but I make this easy. I let you British guys alone, okay? Just do your stuff.
Hello. So then, of course, Speedfest 9. I can't believe we're that far in already. I remember the first one. It feels like it's almost a brand new event again this year, doesn't it? With the number of spectators that we've got that we couldn't have the last 2 years. Speedfest Sunday, I think, is more significant than ever this year.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone in the motorsport industry and in the events industry has really suffered the past couple of years, and it's absolutely fantastic this year that we're able to have, all these amazing fans here to Brands Hatch supporting American Speedfest and obviously EuroNASCAR as well. And thank goodness for the weather. What an amazing, wonderful sunny day we have. And the new additions this year, as you know, are the live action arena with the Monster Truck Mayhem show we have, and also this amazing driver introduction we just put on during the opening ceremony, which hopefully the drivers enjoyed as well as the fans.
I enjoyed the smoke machine, although it did make me cough a little bit. I mean, talk us about the work. When did the work start to really pull this event together?
Well, the work starts immediately after the last one finishes, so we were immediately onto this as soon as the event finished last July when we ran on the 4th of July, and the same for next year. In 2023 will be the 10th version of this event. Incredibly, it will be the decade anniversary of the American Speedfest. We can't wait to welcome back EuroNASCAR, and believe me, the show will be bigger and better than ever in 2023.
Make sure you book your tickets, RSVP. It's going to be an amazing event when we come back in 2023. But thank you again for having us. It's always great to be here for the American Speedfest. And Andre, I think it would be good if we can maybe talk to one of these fans. I can try and find someone if you take the mic for a bit.
Yeah, and I think you have to go right now. Because yes, I think we have 2 minutes left until the national anthems, and we need you in the comms box.
Yes. Well, so I will say very quickly, of course, the national anthem is going to be run with a difference today because the United States Air Force is here. The guys stationed at RAF Mildenhall, you see them over there. I believe we've got a trumpeter from RAF Mildenhall, from the United States Air Force, is going to do the national anthem for us in just a couple of minutes. Of course, the Star Spangled Banner. I can't wait for that. That's going to be fabulous.
Oh yes, and this is all about the American Fan Fest here, and we see Adam going to the comms box. I'm staying here at the grid. At the moment we have the grid evacuation, and I think maybe we can ask somebody. No, we have another driver. Come on, fast, fast, fast. I think the national anthems are coming up. Jill Linster, driving in the EuroNASCAR 2, so not in this race, but in the afternoon. How's it going so far?
Right now it's good. Yesterday was not my best race day, but yeah, I'm ready for today, and I do it a little bit better today than yesterday.
So what's the goal?
Yeah, yesterday was just not, I don't know, I was not coming into the race, lost a few places at the beginning, and then I had some crashes, was involved in some crashes, and then yeah, I had a little bit of damage in the car, and then I had just to try to find the right pace to stay with the guys, and got a lot of points for the championship, but even that was not possible at the end.
Brands Hatch American Speedfest, look at this, the crowd, they are now out of the grid, but there are still plenty of them here. How is it as a driver to drive in such a place with so many people watching you?
It's just amazing. It gives you so an amazing feeling, having all the fans, all this energy, it's just amazing.
All right, thank you so much. We'll see each other later in the EuroNASCAR 2 race. Maybe we can grab a word with one of the fans. Sorry, guy, can I ask you a question? How is the American Speedfest so far? Do you like it?
Yes, very, very much. I come here for the last 3 years, and it's absolutely fantastic.
You have tickets from last November.
All right.
Yeah, we take all the tickets with 1 year before the event, and it's waiting with also see.
It's about the smell of burnt rubber. The diesel, the sounds, the feeling of being here, you know? This is American Speedfest, it's America, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you like it very much?
Yeah, it's a great time. I would come here every year if I could.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day, guys. Thank you so much, thanks. So we're now waiting for Adam go back into the commentary box. Maybe we can grab another word. Let's see. Can I have a question? Yeah? Are you enjoying the day?
We're loving the day. Exceptional day. Really good.
So what is your favorite part of the American Fan Fest?
NASCAR, which is coming up, to be honest. Yeah, Legends was fantastic, wasn't it? Yeah. But yeah, really looking forward to it. Yeah.
First time, or did you already booked your tickets for the earlier editions already?
This is the first time we've been, so really looking forward to it. Yeah.
You're coming back next year?
Oh, I'll come back next year, definitely.
You're enjoying it as well?
It's excellent, yeah, really good day out. It's great to meet the drivers and see all their cars. Yes, really good. Yeah.
What about you?
Well, very good. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Enjoy the day and the races.
Thanks so much. Take care.
All right. So I think that's it here from the grid. I think we have to leave very, very quickly. I think the national anthems are coming up quickly. We need to check if Adam is already ready in the comms box. And then we have the EuroNASCAR Pro back in action, the round 4 of the 2022 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series season. We have 38 laps coming up. Alan Day is yesterday's winner. He's now tied with the record under Villarino, who has 5 wins here at Brands Hatch. Alan Day has 5 wins. A 6th win would put him on top of the all-time list. So Alan Day, the 24 car Monster Energy brand by Pika Carsport, it's the one to look at from the pole position. But we have Alexander Graf in the 64 Speedhouse car, Nicola Rocca in the 56 car racing car. We have Gianmarco Ercoli in the car racing car, the pink one, 54, all wanting that win here at Brands Hatch. It's all about becoming the king of Brands Hatch. The best driver of the weekend is getting a very, very nice crown in EuroNASCAR Pro. In EuroNASCAR 2 later, we are going to crown the prince of Brands Hatch. So a lot of things coming up. 2 races today, of course, live on EuroNASCAR.com on the YouTube channel. I'm really looking forward to this one. And I hope that Adam is already there and can take over.
I've been here for a little while, yes. Thankfully, not too far between the commentary position and here in the commentary box. Not far at all between the circuit and my position here in commentary. Great to be down there, though, on the grid as the fans enjoyed themselves, as the drivers made time for the fans, and the atmosphere for EuroNASCAR here in the American Speedfest is always electric, and that 10th edition next year, I desperately want to go there. I like this touch as well. They let the fans make a little personal note on the white wall, on the white lines here on the circuit, which is lovely to see as well. It really is a fan-centric event, and we have so many supporters here. Tens of thousands of people are present for the American Speedfest 2022. And as we heard, 2023 is surely going to be mega. There is Martin Dubeck awaiting the opportunity to get in the car. He starts 5th on the grid on the all-important inside line. Now, yesterday, it looked as though that inside line was the place to be. And we'll have to see whether that is the case again today. One of the American footballers that's wandering around the grid there with Alan Day's car, the 84 player and the 24 car. Not quite a perfect match, but great to see this atmosphere going on. And there is some of the personnel from the United States Air Force, from RAF Mildenhall, and we will see them performing the national anthem in a few moments' time. But keep an eye on Alan Day and Alexander Graf on that front row of the grid. Those two are going to be at lockheads in the early stages. Graf, I think, is going to be more determined than he let on in our interview earlier on, because Alexander Graf did not have a good day yesterday. He had a brilliant run in Valencia, and he'll be looking to re-establish his stake in the championship hunt here this weekend. In this second race of the weekend at the American Speedfest here at Brands Hatch. Graf is going to be the man on the mission. And I think we are about to have some fireworks, and I do mean that literally. In fact, no, I think something else going on out there on circuit. There are so many pre-race festivities at American Speedfest. It's almost difficult to keep up. But we are just awaiting the national anthem. Ah, they're trying to do a Mexican wave down there with the fans. That's great. So just to remind you of the first couple of rows of the grid, Alan Day and Alexander Graf, we've spoken about them. Gianmarco Ercoli, who we spoke to on the grid from 3rd place, He will be alongside Frederic Gabillon, Martin Dubeck, Nicola Rocca on that third row of the grid. Drivers I expect to maybe try and make up some positions. Vittorio Garelli, I think he's someone who can make up some places from 19th on the grid in the 36 car. I would say the same as well for perhaps Cosimo Barberini, Davide Dallara. I think he's someone who can make up some places from 18th on the grid too. We do have a few gaps in the order, courtesy of a few absences, but it is still a really packed grid this weekend. We had to qualify in 2 groups actually. Such is the busyness of the grid this weekend. And I think we are very shortly going to hear the Star Spangled Banner. And yeah, here we go. There is the representative from the United States Air Force, from RAF Mildenhall, their trumpeter, who is going to play the national anthem for us in just a moment. Just being interviewed for the fans on the circuit commentary feed at the moment. And Chris Dawes, Paul Woodford there, part of the UK team, providing the commentary for the circuit. Of course, myself, Adam Weller, joining you for the live stream along with Andre Viegold. And here comes the national anthem. I thought it was coming. Could be mistaken. Let's see when they play the anthem. I thought we were interviewing to lead into it, but it seems as though the musician is just readying up for the national anthem. You see there, everyone standing to attention. And we will be racing within the next few minutes, of course, as well. That's the most important thing of all for these drivers. The festivities, they're there to soak them in. And you hear the drivers and how much they love the fans being present and everything. But at this stage, we are, 15 minutes away from going racing. You can guarantee that with every passing minute, they're becoming more and more focused on the task at hand and less focused on the festivities. The spectators have left the grid. It is just the essential personnel and some football players down there now. We are less than 5, or we're just about 5 minutes away from the famous words in motorsport, the command to start the engines. But the race is scheduled to begin at 13:50 local time, 14:50 Central European. So it will be about 10 minutes before these cars are rolling, or less than 10 minutes before these cars are rolling for their formation lap. I'll run you through as much of the grid as possible in the formation laps, but I can assure you these 38 laps of racing here at Brands are going to be sensational. Alan Day didn't make it easier for himself with his qualifying performance. He had to work his way back through the order, but starting from pole position, it's really going to be a matter of whether anyone can challenge Alan, who has already got 5 wins here at Brands Indy. And I believe here comes the anthem. There you go, the fireworks being sent off as well. The national anthem being played live and in person by the trumpeter from RAF Mildenhall, a representative of the United States Air Force. And that really adds to the feel, doesn't it? Spine-tingling stuff here at the American Speed Fest. We're less than 2.5 minutes away from the sound of these small block V8 motors revving away and getting started for the race. It will be certainly an interesting run to Druids lap 1. If there's one thing we've seen so far this weekend, it's that Druids is the overtaking place in these stock cars. And I'm sure Alan Day, who made 2 moves at Druids in race 1, is more than aware of that. He's going to be defending for his life there. Keep an eye on his efforts. And you see the personnel getting the teams ready. There's Liam Hazeman's. I alluded to it earlier. Of course, Tobias Dowenhauer not here. So Liam Hazeman's is actually running both EuroNASCAR 2 and EuroNASCAR Pro this weekend. The young driver who did his first ever car race just last month at Valencia has already moved up to EuroNASCAR Pro and is already showing his potential there on the 6th row of the grid. Great young man, 19 years old, and he's looking to emulate his brother Loris Hazeman in terms of the sheer level of success that Loris had with us. Of course, he was last year's champion in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series EuroNASCAR Pro, and this year he's focusing on the US campaign, and he will be he, I think, will be next racing in the NASCAR Cup Series in Road America in just a couple of weeks' time. That will be very exciting to see how he does there. Loris has raced at Road America before, so we'll be supporting our reigning champion when he makes a run at the regulars of the NASCAR Cup Series over in the US later this year. We're just a few seconds away from the command given, the most famous words in motorsport. It's going to be fabulous to see these cars rolling at long last. All of this build-up has led to this moment. Let's go down to the command. Okay, it's going to be another couple of minutes, apparently. We are running a couple of minutes behind schedule, I think. Martin Dubeck there, belting up in the number 7 car. So Dubeck, who, of course, is our EuroNASCAR 2 champion, moved up to EuroNASCAR Pro this year. And he, of course, is running that number 7 car, a very familiar and very successful number and livery in the world of EuroNASCAR. And he's in the Challenger Trophy class, incidentally, Martin Dubeck, and that's a class that he is really showing his class in at the moment. He's looking like a favourite for the Challenger Trophy championship, one must say. And there you see the Paddock Hill Bend grandstand with the fans amassed, many of whom were just on the grid, few of whom were interviewed by Andre down on the grid. And the 54 car there, the distinctive pink livery of Gianmarco Ercoli, the car that he shares with Luli Del Castello, and those two working together to try and provide an optimal setup for the machine. Luli, one of the leading drivers in the Lady Trophy class in EuroNASCAR 2. And of course, Gianmarco Ercoli is a firm contender in the overall championship here in EuroNASCAR Pro. You can see there this really bright, colourful grid of machinery. This is such an authentic NASCAR experience that the team behind the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series brings to our side of the Atlantic, and there's no more evidence of that than the way these cars look. They do look like proper thoroughbred NASCARs, right down to the colour schemes. It really is a delight. I think we're about to have the drivers start your engines, Command. Just waiting for confirmation of that, but it won't be too long before the engines are fired here. You see there some of the fans on the main straight. You get a real chance to get close to the action here at Brands. It's one of the most popular spectator circuits in the country for that reason. There you go. I think we just heard 60 seconds to go until we hear the start command. Giorgio Maggi making his way towards the 18 car you see down there. You see the Hoosier rubber. As we heard down in the pit lane a couple of times, or down on the grid a couple of times, these cars have used these same tyres in qualifying and race 1. So they've already got some miles on them. They've got another 75 kilometres to do. And towards the end of the race, I suspect we are going to see some drivers really fighting the cars. The experienced guys, the likes of Alan Day, of course, will be all too aware of how to make these tyres last. And we've had the command, drivers start your engines, has been given out there on the circuit. So we are firing up these small block V8 motors now. Thought we were going to get that live, but sadly it's already happened, and that means though that we are just a few minutes away from going racing. The formation lap will roll in just a few seconds. The cars are in kind of classic Le Mans style formation there on the grid. They will soon roll on the formation lap. They currently sit there on the Brabham Straight, which of course isn't really straight. That's a characteristic of the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. There are very few places to rest, very few chances to hide when you're racing on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. 1.2 miles, 1.9 kilometres of sheer driver challenge. Cars are rolling then for the formation lap in this race. And we are going to take a look at the grid in just a few moments. There's the 23 car, Team Blake & Molen's Henri Tuamala. And the cars roll on the formation lap. There's Paddock Hill Bend, which was where Alan Day was making up so much of his time yesterday. If you look back at yesterday's footage, he was going out wider into the corner and faster out of the corner. It seemed as though he was in a class of his own yesterday, and that put him to the top of the championship. As you see, 113 points for Alan Day, Nicola Rocca on 109, and Frederic Gabillon on 89 points. Romani Annetta, Giorgio Maggi are top 5. Maggi also the junior trophy points leader. Henri Tuamala leading the Challenger Trophy. So he's currently got the advantage in that categorization over Martin Dubek. Dubek will have to fight hard in this one. Of course, he's outside the championship top 10 as well. Dubek has been fast, but I don't think he's had the best of fortunes in EuroNASCAR Pro so far this year. We get a look at the circuit as the cars continue to roll around. 38 laps, as we've spoken about, of racing here today. That first corner, Paddock Hill Bend, the fast right-hander. You dip down the hill, back up Halewoods Hill towards Druids Bend, turn 2, one of the key overtaking opportunities on the layout. Back down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend, where you can run out wide, not too wide though, or you will face the wrath of the stewards for track limits. Turn 4 is Surtees, that S-bend, the second part is McLaren. Tip the car through clearways, through Clark Curve, I should say, onto clearways, back onto the Brabham Straight, and that is the short, sharp, frenetic lap of the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. As we go on to the second formation lap then, I will read you through the grid. as best I can. It is Alan Day on pole position. He'll be on the inside of the front row in the number 24 car. It's Alexander Graf alongside him in the 64. So 24 and 64 in the front row. Gianmarco Ercoli on row 2 in the 54 car. He's alongside Frédéric Gabillon in the number 3 on row 2. Row 3 of the grid is Martin Dubek in the 7 car. Nicola Rocca in the 56. Then it's the 18 of Giorgio Maggi on row 4 in the 18. He's alongside Patrick Lemarie in 8th place. 5th row of the grid, Henri Tuamala in the 23. Mark Goosens, I don't think, is there in the 14 car. Row 6, Liam Hazeman's making his EuroNASCAR Pro debut. Claudio Capelli in the 16 car. He was embattled yesterday. The action followed him wherever he went, and I'd expect more of that from him again today. So keep an eye on Capelli in the 16 car. Keep an eye on Alan Day on the pole position, our new championship leader after yesterday's events, taking the championship lead from Nicola Rocca, who only starts 6th in this one. The 56 car, he'll be eager to get up into the top 3 and challenge for a win if he possibly can, but it's going to be difficult from 6th place. 2x2 formation, the cars roll through the final corners. We're about to go racing for 38 laps at Brands Hatch. Alan Day and Alexander Graf side by side, 2x2 formation. We're going to see the lights out and the cars will go. They do so now. We are racing at Brands Hatch, Indy. And it is Alan Day with a commanding lead into the first corner. He's got the whole car ahead of Alexander Graf. Into 3rd place there has gone Gianmarco Ercoli, so he's managed to retain his position as well. Everybody through the first couple of corners quickly by the looks of it. And there you see Alexander Graf in the 2nd position. He's already lost a couple of car lengths to Alan Day. Day looks like he's got a comfortable lead through the first few corners of this opening lap of the race. You see him there cutting the grass through McLaren, as is so often the case, especially now in this final race. I think there is a gun-ho mentality to the last race of your weekend as a racing driver. They are going to be pressing on, and Alan Day there in the number 24 is our leader. Ercoli there bouncing over the curbs at Paddock Hill Bend. Gabillon still there in 4th place. Dubek looks like he's under attack from Nicola Rocca. Nicola Rocca, who I remind you was leading the championship coming into this weekend. He's now down to 2nd in the points, courtesy of the victory for Alan Day yesterday. He only starts 6th today, so he has a lot of work to do if he's not going to lose more positions in the championship or lose more points in the championship to Alan Day. Nicola Rocca has a mighty task ahead of him. Here goes the battle for 2nd place then. What is the gap between the leader and 2nd place? Alan Day already has 8.5 tenths on Alexander Graf. Wow, wow, wow. And here, Alexander Graf going defensive. I was about to say Ercoli was going to dive to the inside, but Alexander Graf beat him to it, made sure that the corner wasn't available to Ercoli, but Ercoli has a look at Graham Hill Bend. They just about avoided tagging quarter panels, and I think that Ercoli may have left himself open to an attack from Frédéric Gabillon now. Gabillon couldn't find a way up the inside for Surtees. The Cooper Straight between Graham Hill Bend and Surtees is fairly short. So if you do get a good run, you have to capitalise on it as soon as possible. Martin Dubek there in 5th position. Getting squirrely there on the grass on the inside of the main straight, the Brabham Straight. Dubek did well to hold that, actually. The car got very loose underneath him there. And Dubek again looks to the inside. Then behind him is Nicola Rocca. Then in the 18 car, we have Giorgio Maggi. And then Liam Hazeman's rounding out our top 8. So Hazeman's has managed to get his way into the top 10, courtesy of a good first few laps of the race. We're about to start lap 5 of 38 here now, especially if we get a lot of green flag running here at Brands today. It's inevitable that lap traffic is going to be a factor. We had some 30 cars taking the start in this race. 1.9 kilometre circuit, 38 laps. The lap traffic is an inevitability. Alan Day will be making the most of the clean road that he's got ahead to try and minimise the risk of getting held up by a back marker. If he can have 3 or 4 seconds of advantage when he starts lapping cars, that of course will be a really nice buffer. There we see Graf once again. It looks like he's largely trying to get that 64 car to the middle of the road wherever he can. Alexander was kind of chipping in a little bit yesterday with Speedhouse, the number 40 Speedhouse car, which again today hasn't taken the start. Unfortunately, a big accident for the 40 yesterday, and he was involved there trying to make sure the car could stand a chance of running again, but sadly we have lost a couple of cars this weekend to accident or driver illness, etc, etc. But always good to see teams and drivers chipping in with each other in the paddock. Graf, who has had so much success in his native Scandinavian region, he is a Swedish driver. He's raced all over Scandinavia in the last 20 years. Moved into EuroNASCAR for 2018 and has really established himself as a front-running contender. For now, though, Gianmarco Ercoli is challenging. Ercoli was a champion in what was called the Elite 2 class back in 2015. And he basically moved straight up to EuroNASCAR from karting, really. I think he did a little bit of single-seater running, but definitely not a full season. And then he moved up to EuroNASCAR. He was the runner-up last year in Pro as well, Gianmarco Ercoli, second only to Loris Hazeman. So Gianmarco Ercoli in that 54 car is a force of great interest here in the EuroNASCAR Pro class. He's someone we can expect to be in the title hunt all year long, but I think that can be said for a good number of the drivers in the top half dozen. Graf, again, 2 wheels up in the air briefly. I'm not convinced that's actually the quickest way through the corner, testing the shock absorbers to that extent, but they're clearly pushing on. And there isn't much difference in pace between Alan Day and Alexander Graf at the moment, so even though Graf has the pressure of leading this queue of cars, Alan Day actually isn't getting away particularly at the moment. If you're watching the graphic on the side of your screen, you can see the gap, and the interval doesn't seem to be extending too far lap on lap. It's been kind of between 1 and 1.5 seconds for a little while. There's some gravel up ahead. Oh, the 29 car. Oh, Alia Kolek. We heard from Alia earlier on the grid, and unfortunately she's ended up in the barriers there. She said that EuroNASCAR 2 was kind of her primary focus, given this is her first year in the category in these kind of cars. But unfortunately, she's had an incident there coming onto the Brabham Straight, and safety car has been scrambled as a result of that. We talked about green flag running. Of course, this brings everyone back up to the rear end of Alan Day once again. Hopefully Alia is A-OK, and the car as well. Hopefully we can see her back out for EuroNASCAR 2 later on this afternoon. And the good to see that she's out of the car. As we alluded to on the grid, she's done GT4 racing, she's done trucks, she's done Dakar style racing, rally raid competition. Alia Kolek is a bright young racer who could probably turn her hand to just about anything, and unfortunately she will not see the checkered flag in this race today at Brands Hatch, but hopefully the 29 car will be back out for EuroNASCAR 2 later. The marshals have already scrambled the recovery vehicle, so it shouldn't be too long before we see that car recovered. I'd say 2 or 3 laps under safety car is probable here. Let's run you through the order then at this stage. It is Alon Day who leads the race. Of course, the slight gap that he had built will now be eradicated, but he'd only got about 1.5 seconds over the chasing pack prior to the safety car. Nonetheless, the 24 car is our leader. Second place is Alexander Graf. Gianmarco Ercoli sits in 3rd place. Then it's Frederic Gabillon in the number 3. The number 7 car leading the Challenger Trophy class is Martin Dubeck. 6th place is Nicola Rocca. Rocca has not managed to move up the order at all from his starting position yet. Let's see if he can progress in the latter part of the race. And what's gone on here? Looks as though a few cars are struggling to pull up again. The 72 car there was in a bit of strife. That was Ian Erik Varden in the Team Bleekemolen car, and the 44 was also having some issues down there. I know that sometimes under safety car they all kind of end up queuing up and stopping down at the bottom of Paddock Hill Bend, but I think on that occasion they then struggled to get the car started again. Thankfully everyone, including Johnny Rautjärvi in the 44, has got back under their own power, but thought for a minute there that we were going to lose a few more cars in some rather bizarre circumstances. Thankfully no one ended up hitting each other there. But just to continue running through the order, we'd got to Nicola Rocca in 6th place in the 56 car. The 18 car is running 7th. That is Margi, of course, in the 18. Giorgio Margi. And we'll see if he can move further up. At this stage of the race, though, he will, I think, be fairly positive because he is leading the junior element of the race. But, of course, he told us earlier on that he's focusing on the overall. Just behind him is the number 50 car of Liam Hazemans. Hazemans, who is also in the junior class, he runs 8th overall. The 23 of Tuamala are Challenger class trophy, or Challenger Trophy leader at the moment. He leads the point standings. He currently runs 2nd in this race in class, but he is our comfortable points leader at the moment in that 23 car. Rounding out the top 10 is Capelli in the number 16. That is Claudio Capelli in the 16. 11th place is Roman Iannetta in the 46. Patrick Lemarie in the number 5 car sits in 12th place. The 55 in 13th position. That is Fabrizio Armetta. The 89 of Davide Delara sits in 14th. Dario Casso in 15th place. Vittorio Girelli in the number 36 car. He runs in 16th. The 65 car driven by Riccardo Romagnoli. The 33 of Cosimo Barberini runs 18th. Christoph Lenz runs 19th. And the number 1 car has made some good progress as well, I must say. Thomas Chrysonis, the only Greek driver out there on the grid, running 20th at the moment. He's I think picked up about 10 positions already at this stage of the race. So you've got to give him a nod of the head, haven't you? That's a very good effort so far. So you saw there that Ali Kolik's car was just being positioned onto the flatbed. It'll probably be another 2 or 3 laps before the safety car is in. Of course, with the car going off into the gravel like that, that does also mean that the marshals have to get out there with the brooms, as we saw, and make sure the racing surface is as clean as possible, which is especially important given we do the traditional NASCAR 2x2 rolling starts here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. And there you see the South Bank. We just had a look at the South Bank there at Brands Hatch. That used to be part of the rallycross layout here at Brands back in the 1980s through to about 2004. It's now utilised as a wonderful kind of like car grandstand. It's one of the best places to watch the racing. They also have a big screen up there broadcasting the same pictures we're showing to you. And all part of the atmosphere here. Now we have a car into pit lane. That's the number 23 out of 9th place. Oh no, it's Tuamala, of course. Henri Tuamala. Why is he come into the pit lane? Hopefully he's not got a particular issue. But certainly you don't go into the pit lane if you don't. And, well, there's the telltale sign. Bonnet open. Maybe they can get it back out there, but he's already lost 20 or so positions, courtesy of coming into the pit lane. That's a huge shame for Tuamala. A huge opportunity for the likes of Claudio Capelli and Martin Dubeck within the Challenger Trophy order as well. That is the points leader in Challenger Trophy, and if he fails to finish, he fails to get points on the board, well, that could be very important for their title campaigns. '46 car running slightly wounded there, Roman Iannetta, the driver with a pedigree at the Le Mans 24 Hours. I think raced in the LMP2 class a couple of times in previous years. He's been a part of the EuroNASCAR series on an intermittent basis since 2012 and has been involved with racing since the turn of the century, has Roman Iannetta. So he's a hugely experienced driver. He's also a very tenacious driver. He's not one that makes moves by half measures. If he's wanting to get by, he's going to do everything he can to do so. And in this style of racing, where body panels are seemingly treated with a degree of contempt at times, I think that kind of tenacity is what you need. Of course, this is meant to be non-contact racing, and a lot of the time the rougher moves are punished in this series. But nonetheless, these cars are relatively cheap to repair and so on. The cost effectiveness is part of the appeal of the series. Although, looking at that 29 car, I do have to wonder whether Alia Koluk is particularly likely to be out in EuroNASCAR 2. Just seeing that car rolling on the flatbed a few moments ago, I don't know, that doesn't look like a car that can be ready in a couple of hours to me, and that's really unfortunate for Alia Koluk. We do understand that the barriers, the tyre barriers, are having to be put back into place, and that might extend the safety car a little bit more than I had previously anticipated. For your information, we're about to cross the line to start the 15th lap of the race. You see there that the service van is still parked there, so they are indeed having to either replace or repair that tyre barrier at the moment, although they are very quick at doing that here at Brands, so I wouldn't expect it to be too much longer under safety car. Of course, EuroNASCAR and Brands Hatch have a significant history at this point, dating back over a decade, and the popularity of the event the popularity of the championship on the support bill of other series led to the American Speedfest with EuroNASCAR as the headliner. And as we alluded to down on the grid earlier, the 10th running of the American Speedfest will take place next year. We heard that it's going to happen next year. They're excited to welcome us back. We're excited to be back next year in EuroNASCAR. And I'm sure that the organisers the powers that be here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series are going to work together to make the 10th edition of this event a sheer spectacle. Not that it's entirely obvious how you could top the standard formula for the American Speed Fest. They've added action arenas and all sorts of exciting things this year. We just saw the 65 car rolling through shot there. That's Riccardo Romagnoli at the wheel of the Challenger class entries. A 59-year-old driver, has previously run in GTs, in touring cars. Riccardo Romagnoli has a huge history in motorsport in his native Italy and beyond. And another one of these drivers that has watched EuroNASCAR from afar and decided that he has to be a part of it. Seems as though we've lost Thomas Chrysonis on that lap in the number 1 car. Chrysonis has dropped 5 positions on that lap. Or actually, no, he's still there in the safety car queue. I think Chrysonis may have a transponder issue because he just dropped through the order there rather spookily. Now, I understand safety car will be in this lap. Yes, it will. So the 2x2 formation being adhered to once again. We are going to go racing very shortly indeed. Just a few moments away from getting started at long last. We're going to have 21 laps of racing to go. The green flag will fly as we start lap 17 of the race. It will, of course, be Alan Day on the inside, Alexander Graf on the outside once again. The scenario is almost identical to what we had at the start of the race. Will the outcome be any different? Take 2, as it were. The second rolling start of the day for the EuroNASCAR Pro drivers, and they're underway once again. And on this occasion, look at Ercoli. Ercoli up the inside. The 54 car to the lead. Gianmarco Ercoli got a lightning getaway side by side with Alan Day. Day tried to go all the way around the outside at Druids Bend. Ercoli leans on him. He learnt that trick from Alan Day. Contact between the two of them. Oh, guys, you're hooked up. Surely. Oh, they've just about managed to remove themselves from each other, but Alan Day wasn't giving an inch there. He did not back out of the move. He tried to go all the way around the outside. And Gianmarco Ercoli's car is hugely worse for wear after that. Alan Day there was uncompromising coming out of Druids into Graham Hill Bend. They were both on the grass. I don't know how both of those cars are still running. I was convinced that was going to be a lot more dramatic than it ended up being, but Ercoli's car is definitely worse for wear. I wouldn't be surprised if that car is called in. Oh, it's shedding body parts left, right and centre. Alexander Graf is through into second place, but the rear end of Ercoli's car just took off. Was struck by a car from behind, and the car certainly doesn't look stable, but with that bodywork off, perhaps Ercoli may be able to press on. No, there's something wrong with that car. I think Ercoli may have to fight another day here, because that car looks incredibly unstable. He presses on nonetheless. Giorgio Maggi has got himself up into 4th place in amongst all of this drama. He's right behind Ercoli. Maggi trying to find a way through into 3rd position. And sure enough, he's done it. And Ercoli once again struggling. Oh, this is so unfortunate to see for Gianmarco Ercoli. And unfortunately, his car has definitely come out of the collision with Alan Day in less than optimal condition. The rear end of that car is clearly damaged. He's barely able to keep it on the circuit. And Giorgio Maggi, though, has profited significantly there, hasn't he? He's moved up to 3rd place. I think he restarted this race from P7, if I'm not mistaken. And he's managed to get himself up to 3rd. Great driving from Ercoli. Martin Dubek now in 4th, Gabion down to 5th place, and still Nicola Rocca is in 6th. He hasn't been able to move up through the order at all, even with all the drama going on up ahead. You see there's a lot of debris down from the back of Ercoli's car. Ercoli did actually cross the line again last time by. He hasn't gone into the pit lane yet. He's down there in 14th place. You just see the 54 car there in the back of shot coming down towards Surtees at the moment. Here comes Nicola Rocca trying to get a good run through Clearways and down the Brabham Straight. He wants to try and get past Frederick Gabion. Oh, and Ercoli and Chrysonis. Ercoli and Chrysonis having a collision there. They were fighting for 14th, and once again Ercoli's car has ended up planted on the front end of another. I think they are completely locked together there, but it looked like they were both getting out of the gravel. Roman Ionetta's damage has only gotten worse as well in 9th place. Oh no, they're still stuck together, and actually you can see there the rear bodywork of Ercoli's car has become lodged in the front of Chrysonis' machine. Those two cars are definitely in a dangerous position, and the safety car, unsurprisingly, has been brought out again with Thomas Chrysonis' car looking like it's on an air jack. But it's not, it's on the back of Gianmarco Ercoli. Goodness me. Well, Ercoli had an incredible start off of that last safety car period. Had to be applauded. He got to the inside, got to the lead only briefly. And well, unfortunately, contact between he and Alan Day seemingly broke something in the rear of that car. And from there, things only got worse. And here we see the end result. And unfortunately, he's taken Thomas Chrysonis with him. Chrysonis had made his way up some 15 spots, there or thereabouts, I believe. I think Chrysonis was probably favourites to get the bonus points for most overtakes. So this is really not doing him any favours. Unfortunately, you do get bonus points in this series for most positions gained. And I think Chrysonis was a shoo-in. But sadly, his race is now done. Ionetta's car certainly not looking A1 anymore either, is it? We're on lap 22 of 38. We're about to hit the 15 to go marker on lap 23. I do get the feeling this is going to be a long safety car for a couple of reasons. The principal of them is the fact that, well, how are the marshals going to untangle these two 1,200 kilo stock cars from each other? I don't think it's going to be the work of a couple of minutes, that. They're going to give it their best, aren't they? But those two cars were interlocked, and it looks like they still are. We'll have to see how that's managed, but you see all the debris there from largely from the back of Ercoli's car, I think. It was certainly a much lighter car by the time it reached this final resting place, Gianmarco Ercoli's machine, unfortunately. Looks like they're going to try and crane Chrysonis off, or Chrysonis' car off. I'm sure that both Cal Racing and Academy Motorsport are watching this and cringing, because look, those two cars are still practically welded together. Oh, this is painful viewing. Oh, they're trying to... Okay, there you go. The two cars have been removed. The surgery was a partial success, Doctor. Thankfully, the two cars have now been removed from each other, and Ercoli rolls down to the pit lane now. He's several laps down. I doubt we'll see that car back out onto the grid. I think the task is now going to be to make sure that Luli Del Castello has a healthy car to drive in EuroNASCAR 2 later. Of course, we mentioned it on the grid. Most of these cars are raced in both EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2, sometimes by the same driver, sometimes by different drivers. And that does mean that especially the cars shared between two drivers have to be looked after in the races, and Ercoli's car definitely needs a little bit of work on it. Here's a replay. Ercoli to the inside, brilliant dive. He got a lightning getaway of the rolling start. He was side by side with Alan Day. Now Alan Day was on the outside line there. Ercoli tried to pull an Alan Day and push Alan out wide. And unfortunately, at this point, the two cars became interlocked. They both went grass tracking. Somehow, they both stayed in somewhat the right direction. But unfortunately, as the two cars became locked together and then miraculously separated again, it seemed as though Ercoli's car was damaged beyond the point of being controllable. And we're seeing a couple of replays of this. I'm sure that that's being looked into upstairs with the important decision makers as well. You see there the bodywork falling off the back of the 54. Certainly a difficult thing to see for Gianmarco Ercoli, who has been one of the quickest drivers so far this year. Of course, a runner-up last year, and the more incidents he has, the harder repeating that feat is going to be in 2022. Some bodywork hanging off a few of the cars, as is often the case at this stage of the race. Now, we're on lap 25 of 38 at the moment. Just hearing now that at 25 of 38, and I reckon we'll probably end up getting about 10 laps of racing. Question is, of course, we've already seen in this race that safety cars breed safety cars. Will there be more drama this time? We are going single file on this occasion, it's been confirmed. So there's going to be a little less work to do for the likes of Alan Day, in theory, but let's see how it all goes in practice. Single file restart then. For the third time today, the cars come rolling down towards the start-finish line, and they will once again go racing, but this time they do so in single file. They're back underway, and it's a good start from Alan Day. He's already given himself a couple of car lengths over Alexander Graf. Graf was ever so slightly caught napping. Giorgio Maggi was right up behind Graf, and it seems that once again Alan Day has given himself some breathing room. Of course, we saw how Gianmarco Ercoli's car was affected by the collision between the two of them. The question is going to be, what is the effect on Alexander Graf's car as well? On Alan Day's car as well. We saw that Ercoli had a lot of damage and the car was suddenly very hard to control. It didn't look as though Alan Day had the same problems. It seems as though he got the best of the incident. But we'll just have to keep an eye on whether or not Alan is quite as confident in the car as he was earlier. You see there that Fred Gabillon there, still under pressure from Nicola Rocca, who still sits in 6th position, has yet to find a way past the place he started in this race. Gabillon goes defensive, made his intentions known going into the braking zone at Druids. Nicola Rocca, who came into this event as our championship leader, looks like he's just not quite confident in the car today. He's got Liam Hazemans behind him as well. The young driver in his EuroNASCAR Pro debut, having made his car racing debut in EuroNASCAR 2 last month. The apple don't fall far from the tree in the Hazemans household, following in the footsteps of older brother Loris. And You see there, Graf fighting for traction out of Druids. We mentioned that these cars have been on the same rubber all throughout qualifying and race 1. And that means that the drivers are having to work very hard to keep it on the straight and narrow. That was the 33 car rejoining the race. So Cosimo Barberini with a damaged rear end. One of many cars that's been having problems. Alexander Graf may have to start defending hard here because Giorgio Maggi, for the last couple of laps, has looked incredibly racy in 3rd place in the number 18 Toyota Camry. Alan Day has just over a second over the chasing pack, but Giorgio Maggi is right behind the Speedhouse Racing 64 car of Alexander Graf. Maggi has had an impressive weekend so far at Brands Hatch, and if he can round it up by being on the overall podium, then that is perfect. And news just breaking, coming through to me there. Drive-through for car 24. Goodness gracious me, that's breaking news. 24 car, Alan Day, drive-through penalty. And that means that Alan Day, our race leader, is surely not going to be our race winner. That's just come through to me as breaking news from Gianluca Guiglia of EuroNASCAR, who does a great job keeping myself and Andre Viegold informed here. And, well, goodness me, that's a huge moment in this race. And that is, of course, for the crash with Ercoli. I'm sure you could have guessed that one. The collision between himself and Gianmarco Ercoli is the cause of the drive-through penalty. And Alan Day, let's see when he serves it. Does he come in this time? No, he doesn't. The 24 car pressing on. I believe he'll have 3 opportunities to drive through or drive past before he gets in more trouble. So this is going to be, once Alan Day comes in, this should be our battle for the lead. Giorgio Maggi could be fighting for the lead here with Alexander Graf. He may not know it yet, but that's what's on the cards. Martin Dubek, of course, could be looking at another overall podium as well. And Nicola Rocca, who has now got past Frédéric Gabillon. Now that he's got past Gabillon, he's all over the back of Martin Dubek. We just saw that in the back of shot. The 56 car, Nicola Rocca, having now moved up to 5th place. It looks like Rocca's car is coming alive towards the end of this race. Maybe he's just been conserving tyres, because suddenly Nicola Rocca is on the charge. He's set the fastest lap of the race as well, of 49.247. Nicola Rocca in the blue and yellow could be challenging Martin Dubek shortly. Well, he's already challenging. He could be doing so successfully shortly. 17 car in a spin there. That's Manfrey in the Shadow DNM8. The livery aping the old school F1 cars driven by the late Tom Price, among others. And there is the 17 car, which is stopped in a really unfortunate position. And if Bernardo Manfrey can't get that car started, I fear we may have another caution here. This has been a dramatic race, that much is for certain. It's certainly also been a race with a lot of disruption. I think Nicola Rocca will be wanting this to stay green because he looks like he's in the groove. However, he's struggling to find a way past Martin Dubek at the moment. Grass is kicked up by the battle for second ahead, the battle that should be for the lead. Alan Day still hasn't come in to serve that drive-through penalty. Does he do it this time? Keep an eye on the 24. I think he was, yes. Alan Day is in the pit lane. So the drive-through penalty has been served, will be observed. And this means that this queue of 5 cars are now our overall top 5. So it is Alexander Graf for Speedhouse Racing that leads the way from Giorgio Maggi, Martin Dubeck, Nicola Rocca and Frederic Gabillon. That's our top 5. They're covered by 1.2 seconds as Alan Day rejoins the race outside the top dozen. He is going to be really irate with that, I'm sure. But the stewards took their time and due diligence to make sure that everything was okay. You see that the timer has come up on the screen now, so it looks like we're going to run this race to time rather than distance in order to make sure that we don't overrun and shorten any other races on the schedule, including EuroNASCAR 2 later this afternoon. So 1 minute and 20 seconds to go means 2 more laps of racing. So this will be the penultimate lap of the race. We're on to lap 35. It looks like we're going to end up with 36 laps of racing then. And Alexander Graf is going to have to defend hard from Giorgio Maggi. I'm sure at this point the team have informed him that he is fighting for the race win. He will know, of course, that he's fighting for the race win because he'll have seen Alan Day withdraw to the pit lane. Day has crossed the line in 17th position, so that's going to be a huge points loss for Alan Day in that 24 machine. And for PK Car Sport as well, of course, there'll still be yellow flags there for the 17 car of Manfrey. So there's one less overtaking opportunity on the circuit for Giorgio Maggi. 30 seconds left on the clock as they cross the line. I make this the final lap of the race unless we do a +1 lap. Alexander Graf looks like he might be able to hold on here. Has Giorgio Maggi got anything to offer in the last few corners? Has he got one last grandstand move in mind? He had a good run there through Graham Hill Bend, but I don't think it's good enough for a move through Surtees and McLaren. Of course, he can't make a move in the last couple of corners because of the stranded number 17 car. We should see a checkered flag this time. And Alexander Graf looks like he is going to take the win. There's the checkered flag. It waves for our race winner, Alexander Graf in the 64 car. He had a rotten run of form yesterday in our first race of the weekend at American Speedfest. He had a puncture in the early going. He lost a lot of points, and he will feel this win is vindication. Alexander Graf takes it from Giorgio Maggi. The first career win for Alexander Graf as well. This is going to be a delighted driver. He's been working to this for several years. He joined EuroNASCAR back in 2018. He's looked promising, and finally he has delivered on that promise. And the Speedhouse team also claiming their first win. So everyone on that team, the mechanics, the driver, every member of the personnel in the garage is going to be celebrating this one. Of course, they still have to worry about EuroNASCAR 2 later, but I'm sure the party will run long into Sunday night. Delightful for Alexander Graf. Alan Day, of course, will be ruining what's happened in this race. 16th place, Alan Day ultimately finished. Of course, Giorgio Maggi, also the junior trophy winner, as well as second overall. The challenger class podium will be headed by Martin Dubeck, who also finished third overall. And fourth place, Nicola Rocca. Good points on the board for him. Incidentally, I think Nicola Rocca will once again be championship leader as a result of this. I know that Gianluca will be confirming all of that for me in the next few minutes as he rattles through the maths of it all. Frederic Gabillon in fifth place overall. Rounding out the top half dozen is Liam Hazemans, who rounds out his first ever weekend in EuroNASCAR Pro with another very, very strong finish. He's still got a race to do, though, of course, in EuroNASCAR 2. The Speedhouse team is the brainchild of NASCAR Whelen Euro Series veteran Lucas Lasser, of course. He chose not to drive this year to focus on building and managing his team. And I'm sure he is going to have as big of a smile as anybody there. He's worked hard for this, as has Alexander Graf. And everybody, I think, in the paddock will be happy to see Graf take his first win, with the possible exception of Alan Day, of course. I'm sure Alan will give him a handshake, but for now Alan will be very sore with how that race was taken from him. Alexander Graf with huge celebrations and a big leap. Man's got stronger ankles than I have, that much is for certain. Yeah, Andre primed for an interview. Martin Dubeck giving him a big hug. All of the team embracing Alexander Graf. The first career win for the Swedish driver who's been racing over the course of the last 20 years. And I'm sure this has to be the biggest win of his career, his first win in EuroNASCAR Pro. A hug for everybody within 300 yards of Alexander Graf. I think that's Mark Goossens there. Yes, it is. Excellent stuff. So helmet off for Alexander Graf, and I will hand over to Andre down there with the race winner. What a moment this is for Speedhouse and Alexander.
You did it.
Yeah, nice day at the office. First ever win for Speedhouse. I would like to thank all the guys in the team, girls and guys in the team, have done an amazing job to put me on P1. It's a historic day also. I take the first Swedish victory in EuroNASCAR Pro, so that's nice, finally.
Talk us through the race. How did you see all the action there, and how was the battle in the end?
Yeah, well, I thought I could make a move when Alon and Ercoli had a collision, but I didn't know where they're gonna go, so I stayed behind a little bit secured, and then I mean in the restart just tried to survive, because you're on the outside, you don't know what to happen and what to expect. And Maggi did an amazing job behind me, trying to overtake me. Absolutely, he put me under pressure.
Congratulations, tack.
Where's Avicii?
What? Yeah.
Skit på det.
You have to play it later in the box.
Oh, yeah, I will. Nice.
You're NASCAR Pro winner.
I hope they have lights. That's my favourite Avicii song. A big result that for Alexander Graf. As he said there, the first Swedish winner in EuroNASCAR Pro, he believes, and that's a huge moment for him, clearly. Very proud countryman, and a great figure in the paddock as well. Always has time to chat. He was actually talking me through the damage on the number 40 car yesterday, even though he's got nothing to do with the 40 car as a driver. He was the one talking me through the damage on the car after the incident for the other Speedhouse machine yesterday. And yeah, definitely very friendly, very approachable man, and I'd say he heartily deserves this result. And I'm sure this is going to be a well celebrated win in the paddock. It's always nice to see a driver who works hard to get that result, and he's been here since 2018, improving, learning the car. This year, Speedhouse, Lucas Lasser supporting him. Everything seems to have come good. And Giorgio Maggi, everything came good for him too. Second place finish overall.
Giorgio, almost your first win in EuroNASCAR Pro, but you must be very happy with second place, right?
No, I mean, it's very difficult to get past people in Brands Hatch, so coming from P7 to P2 makes me actually really happy. For sure, I think we had the speed to win. There was an opportunity, but it was very difficult at the end because also my tires were quite on the limit. There was a yellow face, and unfortunately I missed in the turn 1 a bit of speed to really catch up to turn 2 to where really there's the only opportunity. But I'm really happy. I had a really consistent car, very thankful for the team. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next weekend.
Vielen Dank. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go, Giorgio Maggi with his second place finish there in the number 18 car. The car from the stable of Race Up Technology. And Giorgio was second in EuroNASCAR 2 back in 2019. 7th in the pro class last year. He's a hugely consistent top 10 finisher in this category. Only had one podium to his name coming into this season, which happened back in 2020. And his performance this year looks to have stepped up a level as well. You see that year on year, the drivers improving, learning the cars, learning the tracks. With each passing year, the younger drivers seem to have that little bit more confidence. And of course we will soon hear from Martin Dubeck, who took the win in Challenger Trophy, but also took his first ever EuroNASCAR Pro podium, overall podium. Dubeck, who's I think had a couple of top 5 finishes at Valencia, but first podium for him. However, we are with Gianmarco Ercoli. Of course, he was a major player in today's race, perhaps for the wrong reasons.
Gianmarco Ercoli, tough race for you. What happened?
I'm happy because I battled for the winner. So after, if the other driver, Alan, don't touch it, who today I am better than he, so push me outside and finish my race. But I am pleasure to my team because changed all setup yesterday for today, and today the car was perfect. After the second safety car, the restart, I doing my work, my job. So very good restart, but I don't know if I don't think he's the best, but for me today I'm the best. So he pushed me outside and put on my race. His race is a very incredible situation. So I congrats to my team, to my sponsor, because very good weekend. So the races are there.
Thanks for joining us even after such a tough race. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really unfortunate there for Gianmarco Ercoli. He definitely had a good car under him today. He feels that that was certainly an act of wrongdoing from Alan Day, as you could hear. And, well, somewhat corroborated by the fact that Alan Day ended up with a drive-through. Whether the motive was there or not, but hugely disappointing for Ercoli, who I think will fall to the very fringes of the top 10 in the championship standings as well. You see there the cars queued up in the podium, or by the podium. I think we may be kind of waiting to hear who should be on the podium. Here are some highlights from the race though. And this was how he got started, with Alan Day and Alexander Graf side by side into the first corner. Alan Day had a brilliant start to the race, managed to clear Alexander Graf before turn 1. Comfortable lead for him. Ercoli in third in the early going, and Nicola Rocca coming under fire from Giorgio Maggi in the early stages of the race, further back in the top 10. Day looked like he had the pace in the early stages. He built a gap of 1.5 seconds. Meanwhile, some dramas further back for the number 2 car driven by Federico Monti. Another car in trouble was Alia Kolek, who had problems, ended up in the wall on the outside of the last corner. And then this lightning restart from Gianmarco Ercoli, side by side, running into Druids with Alan Day. He tried to pull at Alan Day, pushed Alan out wide, but Alan's nose was still there. And those two ended up intermingled together. Finally, the two cars untangled, but not before Gianmarco Ercoli's machine was wounded beyond control. Alan Day moved into the lead. Meanwhile, Gianmarco Ercoli literally slid down the order. Here you see it again. Both cars ending up on the grass. There was a point there where Alan Day should really have backed out of it. And the stewards decided that he didn't do as he should have done. Alexander Graf got past. Martin Dubeck followed soon after, and Giorgio Maggi collecting up a big part of the bodywork from the rear of the car. Maggi's car was looking, Ercoli's car was looking undrivable in the aftermath of the collision with Alan Day. He tried to keep it on the road, but every time he asked it to turn, it would spin, and eventually both he and Thomas Chrysonis ended up stuck on the outside of Clark Curve, and the two cars were caught together. We went back to green flag running eventually, and not long after the safety car came in, Alan Day was given a drive-through penalty, and that meant that Alexander Graf was in the lead, and it meant that he was the first driver to see the checkered flag and take the win here in our round 4 of the season in EuroNASCAR Pro. Just about beat Giorgio Maggi to the flag. The first win for Graf, the first win for Speedhouse. What a day for the 64 crew. And you see there the top 3 cars awaiting their opportunity to get out there. We also just see some of the demo cars out there being driven past our EuroNASCAR machines. There's a great variety of NASCAR Cup machinery here in the UK. There's a club dedicated to drivers that import US NASCARs over to Europe, and the club doing demonstration runs here at the American Speed Fest. Another opportunity to bask in the true atmosphere of NASCAR. As we've alluded to all weekend, this American Speed Fest is one of the best events you can attend all year here in the United Kingdom. And the variety of NASCAR machinery, both from this side of the Atlantic and the other, is a key part of that. You see there the car clubs displaying their machines as well on Colin Chapman Way. Everything from Jeeps to Corvettes to Vipers to Mustangs out there. Even a full Smokey and the Bandit tribute. They've got the Snowman's truck and the Bandit's Pontiac Trans Am on display in the paddock this weekend for the American Speed Fest. And the spectators are watching these mighty, thunderous cars go around the circuit. And I believe we are just a few moments away from a podium, because I see Chris Dawes down there on the podium itself, and I've been handed a podium sheet as well. So that suggests to me that in just a few moments we will see the podiums in full. Of course, we also have the new leader of the championship in the TJ Jewelry Fastest Driver Awards, which is a titanium ring presented by Luca Saladino. Just awaiting the drivers now, I think. Unfortunately, when there's a slight delay to a podium, racing drivers kind of disappear off, and then you have to hunt them down again. I think that's what our staff here at the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series are having to do at the moment. And looks like we are now readying for a podium. Yes, okay, here we go. Here is the overall podium. Martin Dubeck, third step of the podium for him, of course. Second step of the podium for Giorgio Maggi. And our race winner, his first ever win for Alexander Graf. The first win in EuroNASCAR for Speedhouse. The first win in EuroNASCAR for Alexander Graf, and you can see the delight for the Swedish driver. Trophy presentations being done at the moment. And the trophy will be held aloft by Alexander Graf. Huge congratulations to Alexander. You can see how much it means to him. I think he'll feel it's been a while coming, especially this season. That car has looked strong. And now we hear the national anthem of Sweden. There you go, so Alexander Graf continues to celebrate this result. The champagne, I'm sure, isn't going to be wasted here. There you go. Great stuff. Great to see Alexander Graf so happy with this result. Of course, first podium for Martin Dubeck. And one of the first podiums in the career of Giorgio Maggi as well. All three of those drivers starting to show their potential. And once again, we get a look at Alexander Graf out of the car, onto the roof. And our next presentation up on the podium will be the new leader of the championship. Well, I say new leader, it's still going to be Nicola Rocca. Nicola Rocca, who led by a single point coming into this weekend, will have handsomely extended his advantage in the points table now. I understand that on a provisional basis, he will have an 8-point advantage over Alan Day, but that is to be confirmed, of course. And here is the award for the fastest driver of the weekend, presented by Luca Saladino, the TJ Titanium ring. Nicola Rocca with plenty of spoils coming out of today's race at Brands Hatch. Next up, we will see the top three for the junior trophy out there on the podium. And we should see Leonardo Colavita stepping out onto the podium. There he is, Leonardo, the young 16-year-old racer, third among the junior trophy drivers. Second place for Liam Hazemans. Another positive result for the young Dutchman. And Giorgio Maggi, this time on the top step as the fastest of the junior class drivers. Of course, you've heard from Giorgio. He is focused on his overall championship campaign, but the trophies keep on coming in EuroNASCAR Junior Trophy for this young Swiss driver, and I believe that's a young fan presenting the trophies. I think for the Sunday they do have fans getting the opportunity to present the trophies, and clearly means a lot to Giorgio, the result that he's had today. He has had a really good weekend here at Brands. I think he's got a lot to smile about ahead of our next event at Vallelunga next month on the 9th and 10th of July. The festivities continue here, of course, at the American Speed Fest. One last podium to present, and that is for the Challenger Trophy. Fabrizio Armetta there taking the 3rd spot. Davide Dallara joins him in 2nd. And the winner of Challenger Trophy is none other than Martin Dubeck. An overall podium and a Challenger Trophy win. Martin Dubeck is looking ever more like he could be a contender for maybe the top 5 in the overall championship if he keeps it up here in EuroNASCAR Pro. Of course, he's also defending his EuroNASCAR 2 championship, so he's not done either. He has to race the EuroNASCAR 2 31 lapper in a few moments as well. And that is the last of our podium presentations, which means that for EuroNASCAR Pro at least, the weekend is done. We've still got EuroNASCAR 2 to come though in just over an hour's time. 4 o'clock local time, 5 o'clock Central European for EuroNASCAR 2. Make sure you join us for that one. I'm sure it's going to be another barn burner here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit.
služi kasnije da si nešto deliš, ako vidiš da ja, ne, vidiš da ja ne radim ono kad ti kažeš, znači ja nisam čuo. Ja ono radim kada sam cijelo vreme uvati. Što ne znaš? To je pravilno. To nije da ti ignoriram djeco. Ne. Mislim da mi ignoriraš, nego okej, samo... Onaj prvi dio sam ignorirao uopće ništa, nijedne riječi. A na šta me tamo zanimamo?
Test, test. Test, 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 test. 1, 2, 3, test. Sve ok kao. Test, 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 test.